Was or what the VC here coming back at you with another villain club about anything and everything. Nothing's off the table, and all opinions are welcome. By the way, subscribe to me whether you're on my YouTube or on my Rumble channel if you want to follow me there as well. Uh, I'm all about I'm all about anything. All right. Um, I'm all about discussions. I'm just about whatever it is that is where I can make common sense of it. All right. So without further ado, we should just get to it. All right. See, where do I begin? Where do I begin? I mean, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about that occurred a few days ago. I thought it was worth talking about, and so finally getting around to it now. And that is Letitia James here, um, the Attorney General in New York, who was one of the well, when she ran for Attorney General, her main campaigning uh, ways was basically saying that she's going to go to do everything in her way to go after Trump. That was like pretty much her campaign for Attorney General, which she ended up getting at that part, and that's what she ended up doing. She followed through what she said she was going to do, which was to go after Donald Trump, especially to find anything she can to get him criminally prosecuted, which they did. They weaponized between her, Biden, several other figures that were either attorney generals and such, governors, and all the other crap. Actually, no, they're all attorney generals, huh? Alvin Bragg. Uh, yeah. Then there was the Atlanta one. There was a Jack dude out of Jack Smith out of Florida. So they all went and weaponized the Biden administration and Department of Justice to go after Donald Trump. And this bitch over here, let's see what she has to say here. But this bitch
Stop
here,
asking research questions to
campaigned on
ChatGPT.
it, went after Trump, and thought, oh yeah, I got him. And it was based on some real estate dealings, all right, that Donald Trump did when it came to building the Manhattan landscape and all that. But the funny thing about it is that, um, actually, let's just see what she has to say here.
Its answers are not reliable.
It's important that attorneys general representing our respective states stand up and enforce the rule of law. The president of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General
kind of the same thing, basically the same thing that she tried to go after Trump for, which was business dealings to try to get a better deal with the bank based on what was thought to be the proposed value versus how much assets he has and all this other crap, right? And either the bank would say yes, or no, we don't agree with that. Let's rework the figures, and then maybe we could come to an agreement with it. Boom, that sort of thing, right? That's why it's called negotiations. I mean, it's what it is. It's been done for a very long time, and if you don't agree with negotiations, then you say no. I mean, this is what it is. All right, so this is funny how people try to get some sort of weird, some fake outrage, even if it's just themselves, that one person doesn't agree with what's being said, what's being done. Oh man, it's phony outrage. Oh my gosh, oh shit. And it's like, come on, dude. It's not that big of a deal, And so this bitch tried to make it a big deal. Not her, but Letitia James, and try to get him in trouble for it. And then all of a sudden, um, she's doing the very same thing herself to try to secure a better deal based on filing phony documents here, especially in terms of where she was trying to get property. I say that's her residence and all this other crap. Let's listen to the details here.
Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York in not just the civil but the criminal case was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 10...
Making false statements, but these were just... For Trump, it was to secure a loan in order to finance construction, which he ended up paying back anyway. So it's not like he was he paid. It was just more of just financing construction of skyscrapers and things like that. Buildings, which he ended up paying back in full. So the banks never had a problem with dealing with Trump because whatever deals they came up with, the bank has always agreed. And then once the building was done, Trump was always able to pay it right back. So no big deal, right? But this is different here because this is more of secure a better deal for mortgage. In cases where when she says it's her residence, it kind of opens up a Pandora's box because when she says it's her residence and it's in another state, she can't be attorney general if she claims that residence in another state. So are you a resident in that state or are you a resident in New York? Because you can't be in both places, right? So there's a lie right there between either where you're residing or you're just trying to get favorable loan terms, right? Because if you get a second property, say if you own a property and you try to secure a second property, it's an uphill battle. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's an uphill battle in terms of getting a loan, especially a favorable loan, because you gotta jump a little bit more through more hoops, and there's a lot more effort and trouble to secure another loan if you're trying to get another property and all that. And it's not as easy as claiming it as being your first residence and all that. And then they talked about some other deal where it's a 5-unit structure that she has in New York, and she claims it to be 4 because, again, it would better favor her in terms of the loan that she would get for it. Here's my question on that one, though, is wouldn't these companies just go out and look, right? If that's the question. I mean, they could have just look. I mean, I don't know, just to make sure, and then be like, oh, wait a second, that doesn't appear to be a 5 or 4 unit. That's 5 units. So, I mean, they could have just look, right? That's the part that struck my mind when I first heard about that one. I was like, well, if there's a question if there's 5 or 4, couldn't they just go look, right? Or I don't know. I mean, if it's a company or bank that was looking into that particular unit, wouldn't there have been past history or documentation showing this was a 5-unit structure or this was a 4-unit structure type of thing? To me, seeing that, I would have just been like, wait a second, there got to be something, because how can it's always been 5 and then all of a sudden be 4 and then be claimed as 4? I mean, that's the part to me that there's something that slipped through the cracks on that, whether it's documentation or they just didn't look or whatever it is, right? So I don't know about that whole apartment unit type of thing. So either way, I think it makes her look worse because of what she claims, and especially when she was trying to secure a property that claim, especially with her dad, whatever, claiming to be wife or husband. It was just some weird bullshit too. I don't make any sense, but again, it's to secure property, and it's, to me, it still looks bad because you can't have it one way and not have the other. You go after Trump for the same similar scenario, but yet look what you're doing. All right. So that's what the whole thing about this was a few days ago. All right. So that's that, right? So let's see, because there's been a little bit of a follow-up in that. Let me see if I can find that. So there it is right here. Let's see what they have to say here. This is the latest update.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, 100.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is denying new federal allegations that she misled lenders to get better mortgage terms, calling them politically motivated.
Let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans.
Politically motivated. So she ran her campaign of becoming Attorney General politically motivated to go after Trump, right? I mean, they weaponized DOJ to make sure he doesn't try to win the presidency and throw him in jail or in prison, whatever. That's politically motivated, obviously, to prevent him to become president. So this is the same thing, right? It's politically motivated. But no, there's facts because it's all in documents here.
The allegations are baseless.
The claims come from a referral sent by the Federal Housing Finance Agency to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. The document accuses James of falsifying property records in both New York and Virginia. Federal officials say she listed a Norfolk, Virginia home as her primary residence in 2023 while still serving full-time as Attorney General in New York. They also allege that in previous years, she identified her father as her spouse on mortgage applications to qualify for better loan terms. Another allegation centers on her Brooklyn property, which she allegedly listed as having 4 units, despite city records showing 5. Federal prosecutors have not filed any charges.
Again, that's the part, as if city records show 5, but she filed it as 4, why did they let that go through? That's the part I don't understand. They could have just either look or be like, yeah, hey, there's something up with this, but yeah, they let that go through. That don't make sense to me.
Far, the referral is not a formal indictment, but could prompt a federal review. In multiple interviews this week, including one with Spectrum News, she said the referral is part of what she calls a revenge tour by the Trump administration.
It's important that individuals know that this is nothing more than the continuation of the tour. He went after law firms, universities, immigrants, women.
Her office says her niece owns the Virginia property and that James never claimed it as her primary residence. She also said federal officials did not contact her before making the referral public. The allegations follow James's $454 million civil fraud win against Donald Trump. Legal analysts say if prosecutors pursue a case, they need to prove James knowingly misled lenders. For more of our...
She knowingly misled them because it's documented. I mean, come on. All right. I mean, let's see what people got to say here. Politically motivated or not, if she did it, she should be prosecuted. It might be retaliation, but that doesn't make it false, right? Of course it's retaliation. Next, she'll claim racism. Letitia, what's wrong with retaliation against you? I call that sweet justice. Calling politically motivated, that's funny, right? It won't be baseless when she gets a mugshot. This crooked lady's going down. So, I mean, there it is, right? People are kind of seeing it eye for an eye, right? I mean, it's weird how, again, you do it one way, you can't have the other, but yet, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, really now? So, just saying. She should go down because you can't have it both ways, and that's what she's trying to do, and be like, and look how the arrogance, the way she spoke, the allegations are baseless, with sheer confidence and all. Like, get the fuck out of here, bitch. Alright, so that's her right there. So I'm just going to move on from that, alright? But that was something that popped up, you know, a few days ago that led to this current update. And here's another thing that came up as well. Alright, earlier in the week, Barbara Lee. So we're going from progressive New York to progressive California. Especially the Oakland, California. Right? Oakland's been running empty-handed since Shang, you know, what's her name? Shang Tao. I bang Shang. All right, let's go take a look at her. All right, just to show you who she is. Shang Tao. All right. So let's show her. Let's show who she is. Right? I bang her. And coincidentally, she standing there with Barbara Lee. So yeah, I bang her. You know, it's all right. She's corrupt, but I bang her. Look at some images of her. Yeah, I mean, look at her. She's bangable. I mean, look at her. Right? Bangable. I bang Shang. It's not bad looking. See that? Got some tatas there as well. I mean, she got it. She got the package. All right. All right. Now that's enough of that. I'm just going off of a little side tangent here. But so corrupt Oakland mayor gets recalled out of office. Her and Pamela Price, the attorney general for Alameda County, right, where she drops everything, right? But Pamela Price drops everything when it comes to prosecution. Anything that comes on her desk, she drops them all, right? So crime is running rampant. Oakland is a fucking dump. And she claims that, oh yeah, we're making progress every day and everything's looking good, right? Even though it's not. If you ever drive through Oakland, it is a straight up dump, right? There's a reason why all these, you know, say like ball teams left, right? You got the A's was the last team to leave, right? The Raiders left a couple years ago. Warriors left, I think a couple years ago as well. So Oakland was the last to leave, and they just left last year, and going to a temporary. They can't even. They're building a home in Vegas, right? And while they're building a home in Vegas, they can't even stay in Oakland for another year. They're just like, oh, we're getting the fuck out of here too, and so they're playing in Sacramento as a temporary home, rather than stay in Oakland and play another. You know, I think they have to play another year or two before the stuff gets done in Vegas. But yeah, so this is funny though, how that is, and the first In and Out ever to close, and it's not because of money problems. It was a busy location as well in Oakland, but because of crime and just out of control bullshit you gotta deal with in Oakland. But yeah, if you ever drive through Oakland though, it is a dump, right? And graffiti's everywhere, and I don't even know how you could live in Oakland. I don't know how anybody could live in Oakland and not feel like anything can happen, That place you just get bulldozed and just, start fresh. But anyhow, so yeah, she got recalled because, she's a dirty, dirty chick, man. Even though I bang Shang, she's a dirty chick. But yeah, she's currently under FBI investigation. They raided her home, all that stuff, right? Corrupt, but progressive, right? Very progressive. She was all part of the defunding the police. Let's do community resource programs to rather than fund police, and she was part of that stuff, right? Because that's just the way the trends were during that time. And then come to find out, oh, it's not a good idea to defund police, right? Because crime's gone up and all that, even though she claims that crime's gone down. All right, so progressive, all right, because that's what they do. So now that Barbara Lee got elected in a special election, and this is just to fill the void as mayor up until the next real election, which won't come till another year. It's been another year and a half before the next election. This is this as interim mayor, I guess you could say, up until the next one, right? So what do you get with Barbara Lee? Oh man, Barbara Lee is progressive as well. So if you're trying to do something to improve Oakland and bring faith and all this stuff, all right, getting rid of a progressive that didn't do a whole lot of anything except weaponize the bullshit, right? Corrupt, all about the kickbacks from NGOs and all this other crap, overspending on the budget. That's why Oakland, the budget is shot, defunding police, crime, all this other crap. You lost all your teams, you lost everything. Is Barbara Lee a better person? No, it's just going to be more of the same. Like, she's going to say all the good things, but it's in the end it's just going to be more of the same, and so you're not going to really get anything better, all right, out of this whole thing. You're just going to end up getting more of the same, and no real change is going to happen. And you'll see, because that's just how she is. This is the same Barbara Lee that says that she doesn't think $25 minimum wage or $20 minimum wage, fast food minimum wage is enough. She believes $50 fast food minimum wage is better, and that's where it should be. And it's like, do you hear yourself? What you're saying? Like, who in their right mind would have fast food minimum wage or any kind of minimum wage at $50 an hour? Because she says it's because the cost of living in California is so high, we need to make sure that they can live. Well, fuck, I mean, yeah, if you want prices to go up, yeah, okay, $50 an hour. So yeah, it's stupid shit like that. All right, this is the Barbara Lee that says that same shit too. So yeah, it's just gonna be more of the same. She's not gonna do nothing. Nothing's really gonna improve. Maybe slightly, maybe, because now they actually have a leader in place. Things like that. So look at her. This is 2 years ago. Cutting military budget, abortion rights, all that stuff, right? Come on, all right. It's just gonna be more of the same bullshit, progressive stuff. In order to make change, you got to get away from the progressive stuff, the liberal stuff. And by going with her, you're not going to really get anything done. It's just, like I said, the same old bullshit. But yeah, I guess Oakland's going to learn. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah. You know what? It's eerily similar to Chicago when they ousted Lori Lightfoot, right? It was kind of like in a similar predicament, progressive, woke mayor in New York. Oh, no, sorry, not in New York, in Chicago, right? And so Brandon Johnson comes in, and then you see what you got with Chicago. It got worse. Alright, so will it get worse with Barbara Lee? Shit, I don't know, but to replace a progressive with another big progressive, it could get worse. It could. It's possible. But anyhow, it's just funny how you're trying to fix and solve problems and you go with the same direction, alright? So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Nothing's going to change in Oakland. Alright, and so just funny how that is. Let's see here. List of Democrat lawmakers seeking to travel to El Salvador. Yeah, this is some bullshit, right? So we already know what happened. That one dude, what's his name? Van Halen, whatever, visited. He's the senator from Maryland, same state where Rachel Morin, I believe that's her name, was killed. She was like like a soccer mom, fit, nice body, everything, right? I mean, she was actually pretty hot for a kind of like a milfy hot mom, fit, murdered by an illegal in Maryland, but yet not even acknowledged by the Maryland senator, who instead goes and visits El Salvador to visit an illegal that supposedly was mistakenly deported. When you look at it, he wasn't even mistakenly deported. It's real. All right, it's real, and there's nothing to say that he was mistakenly deported. It's it everything points that they made the right decision, and that what the liberal media has done is they try to make it look like, oh, it's a clerical error and all this other stuff, and this Maryland man was mistakenly deported, and we need to bring him back, and we're standing by to bring him back because we're America, we're Americans, and we're going to bring him back. And say, fuck out of here, man. You see how the Democrats, they're always about doing the wrong things. Everything they do is the wrong thing, all right? And you look at it, Letitia James, wrong, all right? Try to go act like she's doing the right thing, but she's doing the very same thing that she's accusing others of doing. Then you look at Oakland, right? You replace a progressive with another progressive, nothing's going to change. Then you have this dumbass bullshit, which is exactly what it is, a political stunt, right? It's virtue signaling. It's a political stunt. And I hope that dude, what's his name, El Brago or whatever his name is, gets denied and has to stay and be like, oh, sorry guys. And all this bullshit that the Democrats are doing, this needs to stop. It just got to stop. All right, so anyhow, that's just my thoughts on things that I'm seeing right here, right now. All right, and it's common sense, though, right? I mean, doesn't it make sense what I'm saying? All right, so that's the latest on everything. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Subscribe. Follow me. And, whether it's on Rumble, whether it's on YouTube, comment down below. And thank you. I'll see you next one.